What would you do if your first night on a job came with a warning like this? If you see the scarecrow move, pretend you didn't. I thought it was a joke, something to scare the new guy. But by the end of the week, I learned the truth. Out on that remote farm, in the middle of nowhere, the rules weren't about safety. They were the only reason I survived. I took the job because I was desperate. Rent was late, my phone bill was overdue, and the only work I could find online was a vague posting. Farmhand needed. Housing included. Meals provided. Good pay. No location details, no company name. Just a phone number. When I called, a gravelly voice answered. You'll start Monday. Bus stop at 6 a.m. Someone will pick you up. Click. That was it. The bus dropped me in the middle of nowhere, an empty stretch of road flanked by endless wheat fields. The air smelled of dry earth and something sour I couldn't place. An old truck rattled up, paint flaking off in strips. Behind the wheel sat Mr. Harlan, sunburnt skin, eyes that didn't blink enough. His wife, Mrs. Harlan, rode shotgun. She looked tired in the kind of way that seeps into your bones. Neither spoke much on the drive. The farm itself was a patchwork of fields, a sagging barn, a weathered farmhouse, and a scarecrow in the distance. Its head was too round, too human. My stomach nodded the first time I saw it. Inside the farmhouse, Mr. Harlan slid me a laminated sheet. Not a schedule. Not chores. A set of rules. Read them. Follow them. Don't ask questions, he said. Mrs. Harlan added quietly, or you won't last long. Rule 1. Never go into the fields after dark. My first day was simple. Feeding chickens, hauling hay, fixing fences. Normal farm stuff. By sundown, I was sore but alive. Then, around 10 p.m., I heard it. A voice. A girl's voice drifting through the fields. Daniel. Daniel, come help me. It was faint, like carried on the wind. I froze on the porch. My name. No one here should know my name. The rules. I remembered the first one in bold letters. Never go into the fields after dark. Still, curiosity clawed at me. I stepped off the porch, 1 foot crunching gravel, until Mrs. Harlan's voice cut sharp from behind me. Inside. Now, I backed into the house. At 2 a.m., I peeked through the curtains. The scarecrow wasn't in the field anymore. It stood at the edge of the porch, straw-stuffed head tilted toward my window. By morning, it was back on its post. Rule 2. If you hear someone calling from outside, do not answer. The next night, I was alone. The Harlans slept early, leaving me to keep watch. Around midnight, the knocking started. Slow, heavy, at the door. Please, a man's voice said. I'm lost. Let me in. I gripped the doorknob, heart pounding. It sounded so human, so desperate. Then the voice changed. Higher, a woman's. Then lower again, a child's. Same words. Same rhythm. I stumbled back. My hand shook so bad I nearly dropped the lantern. The knocking stopped at dawn. On the porch, deep grooves scarred the wood, like fingernails. Rule 3. Always lock the barn at midnight. By the third night, I thought maybe I was losing it. Maybe the isolation was getting to me. But at exactly midnight, the barn doors rattled. Chains clanged. Something inside rammed against the wood hard enough to shake the ground. The cows mooed in panic. Chickens shrieked. I grabbed the padlock with trembling hands, clamping it shut just as the door bulged outward with splintering. Then silence. When I checked in daylight, the animals were calm. The barn was still. But the inside of the door bore fresh handprints. Dozens of them. Too large to be human. Rule 4. If you see the scarecrow move, pretend you didn't. By now, I believe the rules. But nothing prepared me for what I saw on night 4. I was hauling water when I spotted it, the scarecrow. It wasn't on its post. It was walking, slowly, awkwardly, through the rows of corn, its head turned, cloth mouth stitched into a grin. I froze. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but the rule echoed in my head, pretend you didn't. So I lowered the bucket, forced my eyes to the ground, and walked steady back to the house. I didn't look again until sunrise. It was back on its post, grinning. Rule 5, don't let the animals out at night. One evening, the pigs squealed in terror. The cows slammed against their pens. The chickens flapped so hard their feathers filled the air. I almost opened the pens to calm them, until I remembered. So I stayed put. At 2 a.m. I saw why. Shadows stretched long across the yard. Too many legs, too many arms. They moved between the pens, silent, circling. The animals went still, paralyzed. When dawn broke, they returned to normal, pecking and grazing like nothing happened. But their eyes looked wrong, too glassy, like they'd seen something I couldn't. Rule 6, never touch the well behind the house. The well was old, covered in moss, stones crumbling. I avoided it easily, until I heard water sloshing one night. Curiosity gnawed. I crept closer, lantern shaking in my hand. Inside, the water wasn't reflecting me. It showed something else, a pale figure, grinning up, reaching. I stumbled back. The rope creaked. In the morning, a wet handprint stained the stones. Fingers too long, stretched impossibly wide. I never went near it again. Rule 7. If the windmill spins without wind, stay inside. On the 5th night, the air was dead still. Not a leaf stirred. Yet the windmill creaked, blades spinning faster and faster, groaning like it would tear from the ground. Then the house shook. Glass rattled. I pressed against the floor as heavy footsteps circled outside, shaking the earth. The windmill shrieked. Then silence. At dawn, I saw cracks in the soil. Giant footprints, deep and round, leading from the windmill into the fields. Rule 8, leave before the 7th sunrise. By the 6th night, I was hollow. No sleep, nerves shredded. I asked Mr. Harlan why. Why the rules? Why stay here at all? He didn't answer. Just muttered, cheaper than fertilizer. I didn't understand until the 7th morning. As the sun rose, I packed my bag. The Harlans watched without a word. But when I glanced back from the truck, the scarecrow had climbed down from its post. It stood by the well, straw head tilted, waving goodbye. I quit the second my boots hit pavement. The paycheck sits uncashed in a drawer. But some nights, when the wind blows just right, I swear I hear it, the creak of a windmill turning in dead air. And I know the rules weren't just for the farm. Backhand index pointing right, drop a comment. Would you last a week out there, or quit after night one? Smash subscribe if you'd even try.